come on the scene. He's going up against young Eddie Dean, and now Playboy Gary Hart making his way toward the ring. Kabuki, who is a most unusual individual, as you can see now, being helped into the ring by Playboy Gary Hart. Gary Hart has a penchant for, and there you see that most unusual devil's horn mask that is worn by Kabuki. Kabuki had his face severely burned. I have never had the opportunity of seeing it myself, but I've been told by Gary Hart that this happened when he was in a match, and the object of the match was to pin your opponent against a bed of glowing coals, and Kabuki's face got shoved into that. They tell me that that's one of the reasons for his excessive use of makeup. And you'll note that there's that mysterious green fog once again that emits from his mouth. You'll note that Kabuki never appears the same way twice when he comes into the ring. A most unusual individual. And Playboy Gary Hart, of course, has always had a marked propensity for finding great competitors, but also competitors with a very unusual background. Hart seems to have a penchant, however, for Oriental competitors, having spent a good share of his time in Japan, Okinawa, Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, you name it. He's been just a little bit of everywhere. Kabuki moving on this man, Dean, with tremendous authority. And Dean fires back to the midsection on Kabuki, but has, well, Kabuki backing away from it. And so, on the break, caught him, and you could hear the chunk of that flesh against flesh. And Dean up on his feet, good move, but caught by Kabuki. And again, Kabuki was just one step ahead of him. And it is Kabuki up against those ring ropes. Dean backing away, and there's a look on Dean's face of puzzlement as he's trying to figure out exactly what he's facing here. And psychologically, it must be extremely difficult to face a man. And whoops, Kabuki caught. Good drop kick by Dean. And Dean using the back of the elbow now gets the side headlock on Kabuki. Kabuki fires him off. Dean catches him. Good shoulder smash. Drops Kabuki to the canvas. Ooh. There's that savant-like blow, and now Kabuki. Ooh, down across the abdomen, 230, 40 pounds here. And that green fog emitting from his mouth once again. A most unusual situation, really. And one cannot help but wonder about the emotional stability of this man, Kabuki. One would think that perhaps those scars on his face are even heightened by perhaps scars on his heart, because he comes into the ring with obviously a very, very single purpose, and that single purpose is to devastate and destroy anybody who gets in his way. We might ask Mr. Hart about that green fog if we can get him over here for just a moment or two and talk to him about he is trying to he keeps his man Kabuki pretty well under control, and I wanted to talk to him for just a moment, if I may. I wonder, Mr. Hart, a lot of people have already asked me about this strange green fog that emits from the mouth of the Kabuki. Could you possibly give us some information on that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Kabuki spoke to the boogeyman in Singapore and said, "Boogeyman, Gary Hart wants to bring me to America for certain people. People such as Dusty Rhodes. People such as Kevin Von Erich, who Terry Gordy took care of, thanks to you, Terry. Wrestling number 2. As I had said before, the last time I was here, you chased me out of Texas and nobody chases me nowhere at no time. So you, number 2, and you, Dusty, you're gonna get it. And this is what you're gonna get, brother.
And most unusual now into a red fog, but of course, tomorrow night at the Omni, he will be facing an outstanding athlete in George Wells.
Exactly right, and I'm so good that it's George Wells, because George Wells, you are somebody. You are not just another wrestler, you are somebody. But let me tell you something, George Wells. Tonight, when you go to sleep, if you should have a dream that you beat Kabuki in the Omni, you wake up the next morning and you apologize.
You'll see.